So this will be a unique video relative to the 1,000+ videos that I've uploaded so far on my YouTube channel, because ordinarily I recite videos when I'm feeling pretty good, and even though sometimes my voice may be a little more tired or strained, but in general, most days I feel like I'm pretty fortunate to have a body as a 70-year-old that's in pretty good shape in terms of my overall health. Now, I know at least one of you has commented on me being overweight, and I plead guilty in that regard, and undoubtedly that may ultimately shorten my lifespan. But, my genetic background is such that apparently I'm overall in pretty good shape as far as health. But I do have some issues, and anybody who's 70 years old has medical issues. And mine, probably certainly I have some back issues, but I also have periodic cases of, what they call diverticulitis, which you can look it up if you're interested. It's a gut problem. And the issue there is when this problem flares up, as it has in the last couple of days, I haven't got hardly any sleep, and I'm now on an antibiotic and a clear liquid diet, which of course weakens me. So at this particular time, I'm feeling kind of puny. And, I know that some of you out there may be listening to this video or watching this video have much more severe problems than I do, and I empathize with you. But again, in that context where if you do have physical suffering, and if you don't, you probably will at some point, unfortunately. I hate to say, the Buddha was right, Sakyamuni, in terms of his explication of the first noble truth of dukkha. But in any case, shifting to the Mahayana, I want to reference here the layman Vimalakirti. And as you probably know, I've recited the entire Charles Luk translation of the Vimalakirti Sutra, which is a very worthwhile scripture in terms of its profound teachings of non-duality. But what came to mind was the particular few paragraphs where Vimalakirti, who represents himself as a layman who's sick in his bed, which according to the scripture, he portrays himself as such as an expedient means, or upaya, I think as a way of sort of drawing people in to sort of inquire about his health, as a way of sort of exposing them to his more profound teachings relating to the nature of the body, which is what would be covered in this section that I'm about to recite for you as we reflect on the impermanence of the physical body, and as Vimalakirti encourages us to not only accept the reality of that, but then to aspire to attain the Buddha body. So this is Vimalakirti's expounding of the Dharma relating to the physical body, when he says, "Virtuous ones, the human body is impermanent. It is neither strong nor durable. It will decay and is therefore unreliable. It causes anxieties and sufferings, being subject to all kinds of ailments. Virtuous ones, all wise men and women do not rely on this body, which is like a mass of foam, which is intangible. It is like a bubble and does not last for a long time. It is like a flame and is the product of the thirst of love. It is like a banana tree, the center of which is hollow. It is like an illusion being produced by inverted thoughts. It is like a dream being formed by false views. It is like a shadow and is caused by karma. This body is like an echo, for it results from causes and conditions. It is like a floating cloud, which disperses any moment. It is like lightning, for it does not stay for the time of a thought. It is ownerless, for it is like the earth. It is egolessness, for it is like fire that kills itself. It is transient, like the wind. It is not human, for it is like water. It is unreal and depends on the four elements for its existence. It is empty, being neither ego nor its object. It is without knowledge, like grass, trees, and potsherds. It is not the prime mover, but is moved by the wind of passions. It is impure and full of filth. It is false, and, though washed, bathed, clothed, and fed, it will decay and die in the end. It is a calamity being subject to all kinds of illnesses and sufferings. It is like a dry well, for it is pursued by death. It is unsettled and will pass away. It is like a poisonous snake, a deadly enemy, a temporary assemblage without underlying reality, being made of the 5 aggregates, the 12 entrances, which are the 6 organs and their objects, and the 18 realms of sense, which are the 6 organs, their objects, and their perceptions. Virtuous ones, the human body being so repulsive, you should seek the Buddha body. Why? Because the Buddha body is called Dharmakaya, the product of boundless merits and wisdom, the outcome of discipline, meditation, wisdom, liberation, and perfect knowledge of liberation, the result of kindness, compassion, joy, and indifference to emotions, the consequence of the 6 perfections or paramitas, charity, discipline, patience, zeal, meditation, and wisdom, and the sequel of expedient teaching or upaya, the 6 supernatural powers, the 3 insights, the 37 stages contributory to enlightenment, serenity and insight, the 10 transcendental powers or dasbala, the 4 kinds of fearlessness, the 18 unsurpassed characteristics of the Buddha, the wiping out of all evils and the performance of all good deeds, truthfulness and freedom from looseness and unrestraint. So countless kinds of purity and cleanness produce the body of the Tathagata. Virtuous ones, if you want to realize the Buddha body in order to get rid of all the illnesses of a living being, you should set your minds on the quest of supreme enlightenment, Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi.